What's up and welcome to Champions of Lore, a show all about the kick-ass stories behind some of Idle Champion's coolest campaigns and characters. Every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/CNE Games or later on your favorite podcast service, B-Dave Walters and Erin M. Evans talk about all the Idle Champions lore you need to know about. If you're here with us live in the chat, you can leave a question that I, Treavor Bettis, will read to them later in the show, but until then, Erin, B-Dave, take it away.
Need to know is strong. Need to know.
You keep saying that. Maybe I should change it.
Addicted to knowing.
Addicted to knowing? I'll change it right now.
It's a slippery slope, kids, because I was just talking right before we went live about a box set that's probably 20, 25 years old and all the story associated with us. Erin and I were talking about the continents of Toril. In how a lot of them are unexplored, and I mentioned that doesn't even count if there's like mystical hidden contents. If Toril is hollow, blew Trevor's mind with the concept.
Yeah, do Hollow Earth. Let's do a Hollow Earth campaign, Chris Perkins. Let's do it.
Then there's a beer, the Toril's twin planet. Like we will never run out of real estate in the Forgotten Realms. And then also there's the planes. Yeah. It's also, hi, B. Dave Walters, and I do that thing you just saw me do. That's it. That's my contribution.
I was like, that's a perfect way to transition for B. Dave's intro.
That was well done. I'm Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angels saga, 6-book series set in the Forgotten Realms, starring Farida and Havalar, who are also heroes in Idle Champions.
This Idle Champions that we're wearing.
Right here.
We're all matching.
We got our uniforms on.
And I was right. Erin looks so much better than all the rest of us. I knew this would happen.
You guys should have matched your lipstick.
I'm gonna drop this question in now just because it's better to ask it since we did that one really quickly. Garwar actually asks, question, has there ever been an official map of Toril or just sections of it?
Oh, good. No, please.
Well, hang on a second, because I was looking at a map and I don't know if it's a fan map.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I did a lot of cartography research when I was writing A Dark and Wish. There's some pretty detailed Sword Coast stuff, but it's fairly vague after that. I think around the time that they brought Chult back, some of the maps got a little bigger, but I think, and personally, and I'm fully prepared for Erin about to say that everything I've just said is wrong. That was because it was a design choice to always make sure there was enough room for new stories and things. And I think they kind of don't want you to think too much about where Al-Qadim and some of those other places might be. And that's why, no, but let's see.
I'm actually not sure if there's a full map. I know that there are sort of original maps, like at Greenwood's maps, and some of the things that are in, I never know which one's which off the top of my head, but some of the things that were added to the realms were added after TSR purchased it, so they wouldn't be in the original. But some of them that I assume, I've definitely assumed like, oh, that wasn't you, and then it'd just be like, that was totally me. like, why did you put this in? He's like, I don't know, it wasn't me.
It's been 50 years. Yeah.
I do know, and part of me is like, this isn't really my story, but I don't anticipate us getting Bob Salvatore to come be on Champions of Lore anytime soon because he's such a busy dude. But I know he's told me that when he first was gonna write the Icewind Dale trilogy, the Crystal Shard, they sent him a file with the map of the world, and it was he had to print it out. So then he had all of these pieces of paper, and he was working in an office at the time, and he talks about how he put his tie on his head so it wouldn't get in his way, and started figuring out how to match it. And his coworkers came in, they're like, "What are you doing?" And then they're all on the floor building this gigantic map of Faerun or Toril. I'm not sure which map it was, but I love the image of that.
Yeah,
of all these dudes stripping off their jackets and their flipping their ties around to try and get the world built.
It's when you're serious about your nerdistry.
Right?
Yeah.
But for more on track stuff, we're here to talk about some more Avernus stuff.
Track? What's that?
I know we don't really have a track here,
but we're on track being off track.
I like that.
Think about it.
So yeah, there's an update coming to Idle Champions this week on the 25th, so on Wednesday, and there's a few interesting people or things in there that we thought we could talk about for a little bit. Where do you guys want to start with our Avernus talk?
I will say this, especially Treavor, you quite so graciously give the spotlight to myself and Erin M. Evans, who automatically the spotlight just draweth itself to her anyway. But the very first time we got together on a call, when we had our little chemistry test, which happened, internet, it happened.
It did.
Yeah, because I mean, if we didn't have this, you wouldn't have this. But Treavor and Erin super nerded out about the Helds and Malbolge and all that stuff, and your eyes lit up talking about Eldritch Infernal Warlords, Treavor. So what would you like to say about Avernus and the Hells?
Oh man, there's just so I got the book right here. I'm currently running it. My players literally might finish it tomorrow night. So like I'm very Avernus focused right now. But as far as what's coming to Idle Champions that I'd like to talk about, let's talk about the nastiest little person coming to this game. Just
so we flip to the abyss.
Yeah.
No, there's not. They're not putting those things in this, are they?
What
Because
is
there's
it?
only one thing that is the nastiest.
Yeah.
That is like the gooeyest, juiciest, lumpiest, mouthiest.
The great old Mr. Sibriex.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sibriex are so terrible.
Yeah.
So gross.
I remember the first time flipping through this book, doing my quick little read through, and I stopped on this image. And listeners for the podcast, if you haven't seen this, Google it. It is haunting. And I just stopped and just went, but why? But why? For viewers that I'm just going to hold this up to the camera. That's our lovely Mr. Sibriex.
Yeah, no, the light is editing it, but no, Google it. Look at it in HD, see it.
Yeah.
Look at it in
bad.
HD or don't.
Yeah, breathe it in, get it in your mouth. Yeah, like I recently had a Sibriex in my campaign, expressly because I was scrolling through the higher level monsters and it looked so awful. I was like, oh, I've got to do that thing. Like just to be able to describe the greasy consistency of the chains as they're trying to free it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, it's got to just sound like
Ew.
You just do all these sounds.
I will give this to the demons and the abyss. Like I think that besides the fact that it's huge, and so you have room for it's got 666 layers versus the 9 Hells 9. You can cram a lot of stuff in there, and that sort of chaotic nature lends itself very quickly to more disgusting.
Oh
things,
yeah,
like Grimdark Krang.
Grimdark Krang.
Yep.
They're so gross.
He
And
does
they're
look like Grimdark Krang, to be fair.
right. I mean, like if you're gonna do it, just do it. That's
Oh man, imagine if you could make a D&D version of that giant. What was the
Looking
giant
at it.
machine Krang made?
Oh, the Technodrome.
The Technodrome. Make a giant war machine Technodrome just blazing a trail through Avernus.
I'm like, first of all, they probably have one. Honestly. Second of all, is not Sigil the Technodrome, if we're being honest with ourselves here? So
I don't want to think about that more. That's hurting my head.
yikes.
although the Lady of Pain is very much the Shredder.
Oh, dang. Yeah, and even,
I
the
like
Mercy
that.
Killers kind of got,
I like that.
they're like
There you
beefed
go.
up Foot Clan.
As you can see, there's nothing I cannot take from you, okay?
Well, see, it's messing with me because I recently introduced the Mercy Killers and the Lady of Pain into my Avernus game, so now that's really messing with me.
Now you can't unsee it. Like I'm telling you,
Yep.
if your players all re-roll turtles, you're gonna know why. You're gonna know why. Yeah.
I like stuff like that because then if you get stuck, you can go, okay, well, if at the base it's this thing I know, then what would Shredder do?
You know,
What would
although
Shredder do?
I realize now I've betrayed myself because I have in my head now an all turtle fighter monk party character
Yes.
concept. Yeah. Yep.
And
True.
and with those new
Good
class
follower.
features from Tasha's Cauldron, you can definitely make that work.
That is true.
I think for me the thing that messes with me the most, and this is tabletop wise, the thing that messes with me the most is that it has legendary actions.
Oh
which,
yeah.
which then worries me for what it's gonna do in the campaign. Like, if this is gonna be my new wall, is just having to stare at this nasty Sibriex for hours.
Never ever going away.
Well,
It's gonna take them over and group them together, and that's
Yes.
your new party.
I am not sure how it's going to figure into the plot of Idle Champions either, and I don't want to spoil that for you when you meet this joyful, juicy boy here. But
Juicy
in my,
boy.
oh yeah, but in my game,
Oh.
just for that reaction, Aaron. Like, apparently, yes, I love it when you laugh, but
I also
apparently,
did.
like, existential being disturbed.
Yeah. I
But
get
when,
grossed out very easy.
when I brought it into my campaign, it was trapped, it was shackled down, and it was trying to convince them to set it free because there was a greater foe that they couldn't beat. And it's like, let me go and I'll help you. And they were like, you won't though. And it's like, no, really, I will. And they didn't believe it, and it managed to charm Monster, one of the party. Who then very much was like, no, he's super telling the truth. Let's let him out. And,
My new best friend, guys.
look at would that face lie?
Would those faces and pieces of faces lie?
It's like, surely a number of those faces.
One might, but with that many.
Right. It's like Hiram McDaniels, the purple head from Welcome to Night Vale. Yeah, that's it's the same
Yeah,
guy.
Night Vale reference. Very happy.
Next time I run Tiamat, I gotta do her like Hiram McDaniels, where the heads don't all get along. That's that is true. But yes, please continue.
Real quick for the chat, someone asked how do you spell Sibriex? It is Sibriex. If you want to go find that nastiness, and also another person described it as that is a Tarrasque booger. And
it's a Tarrasque booger that like is the actual phrase is they view flesh grafting and it's as its own kind of art form.
Ugh.
So yeah, greater demons like engage these things to make new weird demons by gluing things together.
But they're clearly really bad at it, though.
I mean, maybe you just don't understand.
It's a rough draft. It's a rough draft.
It's like Sibriex is like, this is expressionism in flesh. And people are like, I don't get it.
Beta, did you? It has a feature the creature does called Warp Creature, and this is something I'm curious about if this might play into the game. So listeners, this is speculating. I don't have any information. I don't know how it's gonna work. But did you use Warp Creature in your game?
You mean where you can target up to 3 creatures within 120 feet? They must make a con save or become poisoned or exhausted. And then if they become exhausted, all kinds of other wonderful things can happen to it, up to and including becoming an abyssal wretch, maybe. It's got an attack called Squirt Bile. I'm telling you. I'm going to go ahead and wager a number of dollars that Squirt Bile will be one of the things it does in Idle Champions. Also, hello, Obo Lauren. Friend of all mankind. Hello. You got here just in time for Squirt Bile. At least I noticed you. And now I'm just giving myself reasons to just keep saying Squirt Bile.
Little sidebar. She has the cutest gif of her like grinning so big, and every time I see it on Twitter, it makes me happy, Lauren.
That's the Lauren has
one.
that effect on people.
Imagine.
She shows up and everybody does a happy.
Just happy.
Yeah, no, these things are so. It's the puddle in the artwork. It's the puddle.
Let me read you this sentence from a piece of block text. Demon Ichor oozes from its wounds, forming a shallow pool around the scaffolding. Yeah, that's great. Ooh.
But
Can't wait
they
to
are. But hey, they're keepers of forbidden lore. So we need a Sibriex to guest on here with us.
Oh God.
Because it is on brand. They've spent
eons amassing information from across the plains,
That's gonna be the
hoarding
week I can't come.
knowledge for when it might be
I'm gonna have a
useful.
migraine that week. So gross. It is very on point. That is a good Sibriex voice.
Oh, Oh, there's a flesh warping table here.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, did
looking
you
at
not know about
D&D
that? Yeah.
Beyond. Oh, wait, Aaron. I know. Theoretically, we gotta do something besides this, but I got no idea what's gonna be like this. But I need you to roll percentile, Aaron. The internet needs you to roll percentile.
Okay.
Oh,
Give me just
God.
a second, because I don't have my dice out here, but I can pull up D&D.
I was about to say mine are right over there. Trevor, if you got a pair
Yeah.
handy, you can hit it also.
I actually got my I got my Black Lives Matter dice.
Hey,
Yeah.
I need those.
Yeah. I'll send you the link later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got 82.
82. The target's head doubles in size.
You think I have an ego now? Oh.
It's gonna turn you into the cranium from Freakazoid.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Oh my God, Beat It. What a reference.
Deep cut.
Enjoying all
Deep
these
cut.
deep references.
Yeah.
34.
34. The target's ears tear free from its head and scurry away. The target is deafened.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay. I know, Aaron, I know you and I have only been
ludicrous.
doing this show for a few weeks now, but I feel like I know exactly what you would do. They would hop off and start scurrying, and you would immediately go, "Hey, come back here! I need you!"
I feel like you would
Don't
chase
say
your
that.
ears.
I've got headphones on, so they can't get out.
They've been ear prisons the entire time.
So
All right.
I'll just get this wriggling feeling that'll make me go, "Oh my God!"
All right.
Scurry. Do they sprout legs, or do they like?
Oh no, I guess they got.
Oh, like thing.
inch-
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's lovely.
Okay, wait. I don't have my dice handy, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this completely sporting here. So Trevor,
Okay.
wait, Aaron, you're gonna roll, and that's gonna be the high
Okay.
die, and then Trevor is gonna give me the second number here, and this will be for me.
Okay.
Okay,
So roll it for me, Aaron.
30.
All right,
And I got
30,
8.
38. 2 of the target's teeth turn into tusks. See, I would say that's not terrible, but I realize they're probably gonna be like not useful ones, like one this way.
You
No,
got
what
one
up?
up,
I
one
just imagine you
down.
these
Yeah.
giant 2 buck teeth.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's
That's
some.
true. It doesn't say which teeth. What if one of your molars just shoots through your
Oh, this seems more on brand for that because it does not specify just like 2 of your teeth. Oh, there's some gems like the target's eyes push out of its head on the end of stalks.
Ooh, got
yeah.
some beholder shit going on.
The target swells, tripling its weight. Okay,
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Sibriex are awful.
Let's move on to another creature.
I will just say this, because some of the things like how Averin can increase and decrease in size and multiply the monster size, like the Sibriex may be able to do that to our heroes. So my suggestion is make sure that Freely and some other heroes that we might have already mentioned here today are with you there to do battle. Saying.
Hey, there you go.
Just saying.
Let's see. You guys want to pick the next one? The next creature we're going over.
What are the? I actually
Oh.
don't have the list of creatures in front
Okay.
of me.
Tell you what.
I
we'll-
could pull them up. I'm just not prepared, I guess.
I'm like, we're talents.
we're
Right.
Uh,
you tell us what to talk about. No, I'm kidding.
how about a Hezro? Is that how you say it?
Oh, this is one of those words I've never heard someone pronounce out loud. I
Oh
just
wait,
say Hezru.
there's a pronunciation here on D&D Beyond.
Hezro.
It's Hezro. I was correct.
Hey.
These are the kind of spiky, froggy looking ones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I got a little special place in my heart for these guys because my players fought one at a level they absolutely shouldn't have and beat the ever loving hell out of it.
I love those stories. One of my first times playing D&D, we had this like Naga came. I
Oh,
forget
man.
which kind of Naga, but it was supposed to kidnap us. The DM had very generous critical hit rolls, so I threw a dagger in its eye with a critical hit. As this little baby sorcerer who had run out of spells. It's like it's a wonderful story when you get to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
One quick thing now that I too have found the list that you're looking at. I don't know that we said out loud that this the Sibriex is supposed to come out in this week's update.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was sure to mention
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I knew it's coming soon, but
Yeah.
like this week soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25th.
Okay. Groovy. Smiler the Defiler and a Ladrin NPC. Ooh. Oh, never mind.
Doesn't sound good.
No, is that like
So Smiler is a character from the new campaign. He is kind of he can either be of help or not. And the cool thing about him as far as the tabletop RPG goes is that he can kind of be thrown in whenever. I don't know how it's going to be used in Idle Champions. I'm very interested to see. It could just be in the dialogue stuff. Smiler could be helping the champions through Avernus, but possibly for not the best of reasons.
I like the idea of chaotic evil Fae though. I mean, I was, all things being equal, not a big fan of Pan's Labyrinth, but I'd like being able to hit those notes because a lot of times you don't get that.
Yeah.
In D&D, you know, the Fae are just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know what? And this is true. I'm running a Fae themed game tomorrow for Sword and Scroll.
Fun.
He's CR7. I'm super bringing this dude into
Oh,
the game
dude, yeah.
tomorrow.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the reasons why he is chaotic evil is because he has spent the last 70 years in Avernus, and
I mean,
his adventure party just kind of dipped on him.
Oh.
They were like, "Hey,
Oh.
where's Smiler? I don't know. Oh, we better go because we're gonna miss that thing. We don't want to be late, so
I'm sure he'll find his own ride back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
somebody's got to leave here at some point. I think it.
Yep.
This is one of my favorite things though is one of Smiler's favorite antics is to use hallucinatory terrain spell to create a little bit of the Feywild in Avernus, a beautiful woodland glade in which to lose himself or for a few hours or to meditate on his plots.
I mean, who among us doesn't? You know, and that just tells you how bad Avernus is. That hallucinatory terrain is preferable. You know? Yeah. That you're like, I just want to like freak completely all the way out. Yeah. That's Smiler eventually sold his soul to a pit fiend who gave him the means to topple a Nikoloth warlord named Yarasto.
Oh, I missed that part.
Smiler took control of the Nikoloth's warband and other infernal war machines. Smiler's game came to be known as Smiler's Defilers, and their ferocity terrified the other warlords of Avernus for a while.
That's right.
You know,
He
so
made it his own.
yeah, man. So that, well, you know, I find again, having done so much research, not just for this, but for my stories and presumably your stories as well, Aaron, is how this game of chess of toppling just minor, but to become other, to kind of rise in the ranks is just like the theme of Avernus.
Yeah.
But it seems to me though, as far as I can tell, not counting people like Orcus who like narratively come up every once in a while, they don't gain in levels. Like they just kind of are what they are.
Mhm.
So, you got your weight class and you're either fighting for scraps or for an entire realm or, to a challenge Asmodeus or, as no one really ever manages to for long.
Is it interesting? Because I think I lipped out my thoughts on Gratz last time. But there's something about this that is sort of like how a mammalian dominance hierarchy works, right? So
Mhm.
in species where you have sort of that like this is the alpha and we have this sort of pecking order, that what that's there, like I think as humans we tend to think of that as like I'm always like trying to beat the person on top, but what it is, it tells the animals like this is where you fit in the system, and when the
Mhm.
system starts to shift a little, like that one in power isn't as powerful, then you have a moment of like crazy, right? Would you look through the hells, that is sort of how it goes, right? Like back, you have the harrowing of hell where you have bunches of archdevils get you have
Like some
That's the technical term for what happened. Yeah, right.
it's infernal for reorg. You have the ones that like they reach for it and it's too soon, like you can't do that. And then you have weird things like Levistus, who absolutely should have been obliterated by any measure, except clearly Asmodeus has something in store for him. He needs him because he killed Asmodeus's wife, and what he got is frozen in an iceberg. Whereas so like when I put Gratz into Ashes of the Tyrant, Grass is a demon lord, but he is a demon lord who has sort of this focus of tyranny, which you'd usually associate with like luck and order. But he's this idea of this broken idea of what a dominance hierarchy is, which is you're always yanking the person ahead of you down, which causes absolute chaos if you're looking at like what's the system meant to do. So I think that sort of like constant like little shifts whenever the shift is available, because if you don't shift in, that sort of structure that's so important becomes fragile. So having those even feeds into that idea of law of order within that evilness, and I really like it.
Well, in what you just did there is very important as a storyteller, both as a writer and also as a DM, where you have to look at this situation and be like, why is this like this? You know, because again, Forgotten Realms 50 years, there's definitely a couple of things that you're like, it's like that because magic, man. but places like Avernus and the Hells, and those have been written about it with enough depth and detail by very intelligent people for a while, so there is a reason why it is how it is. And even if you don't understand what they intended, you need to know how it works in your world, just so that you can stay internally consistent and give a consistent experience for the players once they get there. Yeah, I think that's a really fantastic thing. And like I said, Asmodeus has been featuring prominently in my story, and he's been shown up in every episode of the stream because he's, spoiler alert, the big bad this season. And getting to play him like this, expert puppet master, when he kind of is, like, he's smart and he's playing like 3 moves ahead, but he just pretends he was playing 15 moves ahead. Like, where you were like, of course I knew that you would breach my cavern. And I do play him like this super smarmy, like, oh, I'm here to give you everything you ever desired. Yes. It's only when he loses his temper that it changes a bit, but it because like we were talking about last week, the devils are creatures of law. They're looking to negotiate. Let's make a deal, where the demons are more chaotic. And even in that social mobility as such, there's always that. And then there's the added chestnut of the fact that, you might kill a rival and they're going to come back. Like, then when you come back, do you come back like happy or sad? Like, do you want revenge, or you're like, well, that dude worked me last time, so. Yeah. I know.
Y'all are making me think about what I need to start planning for, because if my players do either, defeat or, redeem Zariel, what's gonna happen to that power vacuum? Oh, that's panic for me to have later.
Absolutely.
There's so many exciting options, though. Like,
I will say,
you could pick, if you wanted to, you could pick a different archdevil that's like, cool, now you're going to help me, because while they're distracted on that thing, I am going to do this thing.
I like, for me, I'm a big Mad Maggie fan, so she might find her way in there somehow. Also, I just love doing her voice and doing my own impersonation of Jeremy Crawford doing his version of the voice.
Wait, whoa. You can't just drop that and keep rolling. You got to give me some Crawford as Mad Maggie.
God dang it.
You brought this upon yourself.
I know I did, and now I regret saying things.
Hey, zone of safety, no pressure. We're not looking at you, Aaron, and I are looking at each other. Hey, Aaron.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Well, when Mad Maggie gets down here, she likes playing with the demons and the devils and the little red caps.
Very nice.
It was like he was here. It's like it was weird. It was like Crawford doing Mad Maggie.
And because of Kate Welsh, I did a Australian accent for Raga Draga, so that was fun.
As one does.
So you guys have anything on the Hezra? I'm a big fan of that kind of creature just for my own campaign reasons. It's kind of one of those demons that it's there for cannon fodder reasons most of the time.
It's like a big cannon fodder, right?
It's like a hog-nosed snake if it had mixed with an umber hulk, mixed kind of with a shark. It's almost like a boulette. It's like but like a bipedal boulette. Yeah.
With like the same kind of, like a dire bipedal boulette, because it's got the big spikes on it.
Also, I'm going to stat out a dire bipedal boulette now. But realistically, when I stat out a dire bipedal boulette, I feel like it's going to be just this thing.
just make it like neutral evil instead.
Neutral
They
evil.
hate each other.
It's true. That's yeah, this well, it's interesting because, and this is one of my things that you'll hear this as an axe I'm always grinding with as a storyteller, especially in D&D, where I think people very easily fall into the trap of, you know, just claw bite, that intelligent creatures should behave intelligently.
Yes.
But however, Hezrus are just foot soldiers. They're in 5. That's like the intelligence of a very smart dog. You know? And yet they're telepathic. What would your dog say if it was telepathic? It'd be like, I love you and I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Also, I love you.
Also-
Yes. Oh, wait. Someone's coming to kill us all.
I don't know that I want.
Also, I'm
to
hungry.
Tell me I
Good
love
lord.
you.
It has a telepathy 120 feet. It could just make sure it's hungry.
Right.
And it loves you.
Also,
that-
it loves you.
Is that is that terribly common with demons? Because I know dretches have telepathy.
I think
and those are basically stinky rat demons. Like they're not.
stinky rat
they're-
demons.
They're very, very minor. I put one in a book, and so I remember it. It has.
You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna
Or
do it.
did.
I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
do.
find out Aaron used the wrong source book.
You know, now it's the right
You're gonna
source
kick
book
me off
because
this
you
show.
did it. Yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna do a super quick survey here of
Yeah,
of
even
things.
the Sibriex has telepathy 120 feet. Bulgura.
The abyssal chicken is not telepathic, so
Okay.
sleep
Boo.
easy, internet.
Boo.
Sleep easy. You
Uh,
know,
the-
it.
Yeah, the Bulgura also has telepathy. So yeah, it does seem like it is a demon thing. I never picked up on that.
It didn't occur to me until just now. It's like, actually, the more I think about it, the more that the demons I know have that.
Yeah, it's the Bullazal, which is a 3 CR, one of the lowest. It has abyssal telepathy, so I guess that means it can only speak abyssal, even telepathically. That's a rip. But imagine that though, like you're down there and it's just like, and you're like, what?
How do I change this channel?
Going,
Yeah.
I'm hungry, but in a best.
I'm hungry and I love you in Abyssal.
Oh, this poor thing. No one understands, and they
Oh,
just keep
no.
smiting it. Although I will say the cackler is a small fiend, and it is not telepathic, but it's only CR1 half. So apparently
Can
it's
it talk?
most the dretch does, and it's CR1 quarter. I think a cackler. Oh, I think it probably doesn't have telepathy because the whole point is the cackler it cackles, and when it dies, it has something called the last laugh, and it explodes and hurts everybody. So
Cool.
yeah, they're small jabbering jesters. So I guess just that one on brand doesn't have it. All right, here's what a Dybbuk.
I feel like this is our homework for a future episode is figuring out why demons have telepathy.
Well, but this is interesting. I'm seeing in the stat blocks here, so many of them have both abyssal and common telepathy, which I'd never seen telepathy like specified to a language before. It's just because it's mostly images and sensation. You don't have to have a shared language, so that's weird.
Interesting.
Sorry, you were about to
We
say something,
learn
Aaron.
things.
I was nerding out. I apologize. What were you about to say?
I had two things pop in my head. One was an adorable kid story about a barrel girl, and one was my TED talk about succubuses.
I mean, please.
First
bless
off,
us.
please pitch that kid's book to wizards. Second, what do you got about the succubus?
We'd be like, I don't think you understand our audience. Maybe not. So when my son was small, like smaller than really probably is appropriate, he was obsessed with the monster manual. So he would sit and he would go through and he would like memorize he liked to know what the alignments were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it good or was it bad or was it just, I forget what he called unaligned, just kind of there. So he knew a lot of monster names, and we had to have our roof replaced because a huge leak happened. And so there are these people on the roof like banging around, and I'm working out here. This is a shed in my backyard that I work in. And he comes out, he's like, Mama, sound like they're an angry barrel girl on the roof.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
It's like, he was so like, when are you gonna fix this? And I'm like sitting here trying not to laugh at him because, like, you know, it's a genuine concern, but oh my god,
That's so
especially because he
adorable.
had a little rhoticism, so it was like a bowel glow up.
That's
little, like,
so freaking
what?
cute.
And then he just draws the ancestral blade and then you know he's dead, you know?
He's like, don't worry, I have it.
Yeah.
The sword of 1,000 blades for the Aaron of 1,000 Evans.
There it
I love
is.
it.
He's the 1,001st Evans. Of course he could
Oh.
unlock the blades power.
Oh my gosh.
In Succubus.
Succubus. I was gonna say, like, we're talking
Succubi.
about succubi, that you like the Hezro so much. I love succubi.
Oh yeah.
And the thing I think is cool is that because they've been bounced, and this I know makes some people frustrated, that like, so in 4th edition they became devils because there was like succubi are like chaotic seducers and Erinyes are lawful seducers, and it was a little like, it's a little fine about what's the difference here. So then the Erinyes get to be like badass warrior women who are like big hooves and ugly, and I love them so much. And then here are the succubi. And then it sort of starts to sort of fragment. And what I liked and what I kind of made the devils kind of go, you know what's probably going on, is that you have these, in the lore, there are multiple succubi queens, right? You have Malkanthet, you have Shami Amore, you have Zinevere, and then you have Linkab, right? So you have all these succubi. And so then you start to see like, okay, well, succubi can play any side. Why couldn't they? Right. So you have, maybe you have a succubi queen. I think I suggested Malkanthet is on the, says like, no, I'm loyal to the 9 hells. Absolutely. And that you have maybe Zinevere is the one in the abyss. I can't actually remember which one goes where. And then one of them is playing like neutral party, like no. But they're shapeshifters. So they can kind of like move all around because they're so strange in a way. In this one hand, they cause chaos, right? They sort of kind of, they're like, go give in to your baser instincts, like break these bonds and things. But on the other hand, like there is a certain amount that they use that structure the way a double does. And so I love the idea that they're sitting in between these factions, that you could never really be sure that the succubi who are saying, we are totally on your side, aren't the ones you were fighting last week, because they can look like whatever they want. But at the same time, they're really useful. So maybe you kind of just go with it until you can find out which one's which. You need to
And
put like
also,
magical trackers on them or something.
if you think about it, if there is any creature in the monstrous manual that would be, shall we say, evanescent or mercurial or vacillating, I believe it would be a succubus, you know? Because I've had succubus turn up in stories multiple times too, where they've ended up like helping people and doing good things, so they were just kind of bored, you know.
Yeah.
But again, I like that idea. And this is the beauty of lore, everyone, that when you understand the intricacies of these things, you can tell really compelling stories that don't necessarily have to be like sweeping, earth-changing thing, like a political battle between 2 opposed succubi houses that don't want to wage open war, or a war, having a proxy war using people as puppets would be like super interesting. Also, incubi get no play whatsoever. No one ever cares about incubi.
I was gonna say, I also think they're the same thing. I think incubi and succubi are the same.
Oh, they're just
thing.
shape-changing?
Yeah. And so like actually in our Dungeon Scrawlers game, we had an episode that was sort of before we started recording, where this one of these creatures was sort of like putting us through these weird dream worlds, right? And we ended up to, because Eric, the DM, was trying to clarify, and he just started calling it an omnibus. So now this is what
omnibus.
An
It's like a big collection, is what we're okay.
Yeah, no,
It's-
eventually it
it's
just
both.
chucks
It's
a
succubus
giant
incubus,
comic
it's an
at you.
omnibus. It's whatever gender it feels like being. Whatever is most useful for the moment.
That's interesting.
Valid.
I also think that Erinyes and Succubi still really hate each other. That is the way I wrote them. I had in Brimstone Angels, there's a very powerful, in the first book, Brimstone Angels Prime, there's a really powerful Erinyes, exalted Invidia, who like messes up and ends up demoted to, because devils like rise through the ranks by changing form, right? So she messes up and she gets demoted into a succubus. And it's she doesn't like it, but it does kind of affect her nature a little and make her sneakier and stuff. What's up?
When you said Brimstone Angels Prime, I just imagined this book in space and then the other sequels floating around.
Brimstone Angels Prime.
Okay.
Bum 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 bum. Yes.
So, because we haven't had enough fun on this episode, I want to hear what you guys think the purposes of this next creature will be used for in game, and that is a pixie riding a hellhound. Please give me your best backstory for a pixie riding a hellhound.
I got mine.
That was so fast.
I had it even faster than that. I was trying to be gentlemanly to give Aaron a second there. I'm like, no, I got it. Have you ever seen those dog costumes that they put on like a corgi?
Yes.
And it looks like there's a cowboy on its back just like whipping while the corgi's running. like rodeo pixie. The pixie just like grabbed it and the hellhound's like, what? Hijinks ensue.
Oh, that makes me think. This wasn't what I was gonna say because I don't know. Mine's too. But there's this story of I'm trying to remember what it was called. These people would see this in like Arizona. There's this like crazy monster running around. This is like I want to say like the 20s, and it turned out what it was a camel that had gotten loose from this like little kind of cavalry experiment, I think, with a soldier who had died riding it. And his corpse was still in the back of this thing. So the camel's like running around being a camel, carrying this corpse. And it would like encounter settlers like out in the desert and scare the crap out of them. I want to say we called it the Red Devil. It's bonkers. So this is my other guess. There's a dead pixie.
There's a dead pixie on a hellhound.
You know, there's like, I think I need like a Western Cannibal Corpse cover band. Cannibal Corpse.
Their EP album is Dead Pixie on a Hellhound.
I was gonna say, so like not to be like, but in my books, but I have a hellhound in my books. Havilar needs help finding someone. She tells her imps, I need this, and they bring her a hellhound puppy, a Nessian warhound. And the thing is that yes, a hellhound is a devil, but it is that means it's not just evil, it's lawful. It's also not the smartest, and they are used as like the cavalry mounts, so they better be really obedient. So if you get a hellhound puppy, I maintain that you can get it to impress on you, imprint on you.
Okay.
So then you're still gonna have problems. Like Zuni definitely will like bite someone's hands off. She definitely wants to hunt everything. That's Havilar's hellhound. Wants to hunt everything, and so she has to wear a muzzle, and you have to make sure you give her the right command words, which is hard when you don't speak Infernal immediately. But like she's a giant puppy the size of a draft horse essentially, and if she wants to do whatever Havilar tells her to do, that's what she does. That's what she's supposed to do. So maybe this pixie kidnapped a hellhound puppy and it imprinted on the pixie, and now it wants to do whatever the pixie tells it to do.
I do love that.
Which is absolute chaos.
Absolute chaos.
I just like to point out
the pixie died.
I had, but that's the most important part. Yeah. When I had the privilege of meeting Erin for the first time, she was playing Havilar, and your dog was there
right.
with it. Yep. And I was playing
like
Freely,
that.
Who's half the size of your hellhound. Yeah,
But you could tell Havilar what she was saying.
it's true. I was able to translate what the hellhound really had to say. That is true.
And it was Satine Phoenix was the DM, and she did the most delightful Zuni voice.
Oh.
I loved it. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh my god, that is what she would sound like that. Anyway.
I will say that I absolutely love that. That is one of the most awesome things I've ever heard. And now I'm going to direct my next comment to any of my players that are currently watching this. No. The
Yes.
Golden Pals, no. They cannot have a hellhound. You already have a nightmare.
But you
No.
can.
No.
Yep.
They're little enough. Don't
Saying
let
the
them eat either. I mean, you can do whatever you want in your home game. Let's be honest. But I always maintain that if Zuni ate something, like devils don't have to eat.
Mm.
So she just wants to. So the poop is nightmarish.
It's a Sibriex.
That's where little Sibriex comes
Oh
in.
God,
Sometimes
no!
when a hellhound decides to hunt and eats despite what it actually needs, a baby Sibriex is born.
See, I feel like you're on the right track, but it's not baby hellhounds. It's like pit fiends. like when a Balrog gets into like a pig shed, and then like a 24 to 48 hours later, Also, do we have any questions, by the way?
We do. I was about to transition over to first. I'm gonna say Brian Cortijo's comment,
Yay, Brian!
which said, "Okay, I understand. No, but what about yes?"
But
Actually-
what about yes?
I actually know a group that sort of pinged me and said they did this. Like their DM had read Brimstone Angels and let them come across a bunch of hellhound puppies, and like maybe 4 or 6 of them were like yes, and the other 2 were like what? No. So now they just have a little pack of hellhound puppies.
All right.
I mean, I watched a documentary called Game of Thrones, and
It's true. It's not that wild.
This
see?
well-known
Yeah.
documentary. Yeah.
Mhm.
I want you all to know that our moderator Jay almost just killed me with their comment in our doc. They said that is like the opposite of when a bell rings and angel gets its wings. When a hellhound poops, a Sibriex is born. Jay, that was beautiful. That was majestic.
It's true.
Uh,
Accurate.
let's-
Canonical, dare I say.
Splotch the Great says, "Why is the pixie riding a hellhound? The abyssal chicken has been feeling poorly, or was feeling poorly."
It's true.
Let's see what. I want to try and do some more of the Avernus ones first. We got. These are good. I love that most of our questions are just good jokes.
We're on brand, folks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Splotch the Great says, maybe the reason why demons don't congregate is stay 125 feet away from me, or I will kill you the next time you sing the song from Friends in my head.
But sing it in abyssal.
Oh my god, I love it. That's why they're all
War.
crazy. If you
Blood
hear
War.
it-
Blood War. There it is. Yep.
How do you know when the blood war starts?
I mean, that would work on me, honestly. If someone started humming that in my head, we are enemies forever till the end of all things. Yeah. Like full
God.
Captain Ahab, to the end I wrestle with you for now I gotta Google the quote. I'm gonna say it wrong. Sorry, what's the next question? I'm gonna say it
That
wrong.
is what. The
When
next
hate's hard,
comment.
I stab at thee. That's part of it. I don't remember the rest.
This is in. This is about the our mutations or the roles that we did. As far as the eye stalks go, Ted Cross says, hopefully those eye stalks grow outward instead of inward.
Oh.
Also,
That's
from
why my
hell's heart I stab
That's
at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee. Yeah,
Nice.
Love it.
that's commitment, by the way. That's commitment. Literature, Captain Ahab.
Another wave 83 says the ears sprout legs and go full on thing.
I mean, I feel like you're obligated to make it as terrible as possible.
Oh,
I
yeah.
probably would make it some kind of like weird twisting worm thing.
Oh.
Let's just, yeah. Mhm.
See, I just feel like it just slowly
They
does
fuse
like the
together and become
inchworm.
an ear butterfly.
Be an ear bat, though. Be an ear
That's
bat.
true. That's
Yeah.
an ear bat.
Mhm.
I am going to screw up your name, and I'm sorry, Bayushi Karai? That looks.
Doing tight.
Oh yeah. Congrats on this is about my giant head. Congrats, you're now a pop figure. Yeah, I fit
What a milestone.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is off topic from Avernus, but I thought would be a fun way to round out the questions. This is from Netherwave 83 again. I was wondering, are places like Ravenloft on a concurrent time span with the rest of the Forgotten Realms, or are quote prison-like realms like that stuck in a Groundhog Day loop? And in that vein, would you actually be able to kill Strahd, or is he some part of the realm that it must be there because there always has to be a Strahd?
Okay. I am not an expert on Ravenloft, but from what I understand, there must be a lord. Like if it's not Strahd, someone else has to be that pillar.
Yeah.
That is built on, because his lich homie that Mark Meer always cosplays, whose name suddenly escapes me. I mean, he's like Lich Bro, you know.
I want some apparel that says his lich homie.
It's true. I mean, if Mark Meer is not my lich homie, then can I not have a lich homie?
I want that tweet later, B Dave. Mark Meer is my lich homie.
Mark Meer's my lich homie. I will do it. Somebody clip this. Tag Mark Meer in it. Yeah, Mark Meer's my lich homie.
I'll do it.
But he ended up striking out and creating another realm for himself in parallel to Ravenloft. So I think the timelines of Ravenloft, like all of Forgotten Realms, are kind of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Parallel enough, you know. I don't know
I think it's whatever you want it to be, is my feeling. Like, there's probably specifics for Ravenloft written down, but I do agree. You have to. Here's a fun little random tidbit. The first book I almost wrote for Wizards of the Coast that I pitched was a Ravenloft novel.
Ooh.
But then that relaunch was canceled, and instead I wrote the Guycatcher. So you remember a little bit of stuff, and the Dark Lord is the anchor point. Yeah, like you need a Dark Lord in your domain of dread, or it doesn't persist. I don't know what happens if you kill one. Does it swap over? Does the domain just go, okay, well now it's you're in charge of me, or does it collapse unless somebody jumps in? That's an interesting question too. But I think like time wise, I'm not totally sure, because there are obviously Ravenloft novels that jump off of. And I specifically say novels just because that's often a kind of a thing that they might dive into, whereas like a campaign will go, well, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
But I don't remember the time stuff specifically. I think it could be cool if you have a domain of dread and it's Groundhog Day loop.
That could be a fun campaign.
Yeah. Or you go in and like time passes all weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it like winks out of existence the moment you beat Strahd. Otherwise, a lot of people would have found that out by now.
Yeah, that was actually kind of the problem I ran into when I finished Strahd, was that like it says in like the end block text is like, oh, and then the sun rises for the first time in Barovia, and like I just kept asking, like, so does that mean it's back in the Forgotten Realms? Is it where did it go? So I personally just left it in its own plane. It was still surrounded by mist, but it basically the sun would come out and it would permanently have that like dewy morning look around the edges of Barovia. And then later on, bad stuff happened again, and it got all dark and dreary.
Now the question is, who did the Dark Lord power jump to?
So, from my headcanon, because the Amber Temple is there, and I'm not going to do too many spoilers about what is in there, that it was enough to keep it anchored to the plane of dread. That was enough for my headcanon to go, yeah, finger wiggle, whatever.
Well, you've got a sizable head to cannon, so yeah.
Yeah, so let's keep that all in there. Let's see. The last one that I'm gonna put in here before we do our outro is Kid Like 101 says, please, we all know the theme song to Avernus is Who Let the Dogs Out. It's playing on loop everywhere. Oh boy.
It's just the chorus too.
But that is unfortunately all the time we have for lore or lore adjacent. Aaron B. Dave, where can people find you, and what are the awesome things you're working on?
I just want you to show up with an eye patch next week, and we're just going to call you Master Billy Quiz Boy. But B. Dave Walters, Say Words About Things, Dungeons & Dragons: A Dark and Wish is back on Thursdays, 5 Pacific. Not this week because it's Thanksgiving. Please stay home. If you don't
Yes,
stay home, wear a
please.
mask, wash your hands. But yeah, that's it. We'll see you next week.
I'm Erin M. Evans on Twitter at erinmevans.com. You can catch me on Dungeon Scrawlers 6:30. Wait, no, sorry. When does our show start? 6:30 on Twitch. 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays on Twitch. We are on this week because we're all staying home.
And you guys just started a shiny little Discord.
We did. We just started an open Discord for our viewers and fans.
Yeah. So if you're a Dungeon Scrawlers fan, go check that out.
And who isn't?
I know.
You know, there's two types of people in this world: Dungeon Scrawlers fans and people that don't realize they're Dungeon Scrawlers fans.
You're a sweetheart.
You can find me on the Difficulty Class podcast every Friday and on Twitter at the Treavor. Also, if any of you watched the stream that had me, Ryan Blake Hall, Garwar, Lee Goldberg, and Ali Deichman in on Friday, that's actually going to go up as a podcast on the Difficulty Class timeline on Wednesday. And I'm working on getting it uploaded to YouTube, but I've never done this before. And you saw how well me not knowing how Twitch worked on Friday. So we'll see how that goes.
Getting it up on YouTube is substantially easier.
Yeah, it's taken a long time.
I've done that, just so you know.
Okay.
And I don't understand anything.
I'm watching my microphone is winking out of existence. It's giving me like a mortal wound. Like I have been struck down by your son's blade.
You secret barrel girl.
Oh god!
He knows.
Oh god! Everybody run! Once again, as always, thank you to Jay for moderating in the chat, and thank you to Codename Entertainment for letting us, talk about D&D and all of the other crazy things that pop into our head. If you missed some of this show, you can listen when it goes up as a podcast at 2 p.m. today. Remember, there are special codes in there, so if you want more gold chests, you can get them from there. Let's see. We're not doing that part. This is what happens when I don't re-edit my outro afterwards. One day I'm just gonna be able to do this on its own.
I will just say, make sure you take Freely with you to fight that Sibriex this week. You're gonna need him. Bring our wait. What's the name of their? No, but do they have like their team name?
Yeah, the Brimstone
like,
Angels.
Yeah,
Brimstone
they are the Brimstone Angels,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not like in lore, but that's fine.
I mean, but like when you say
But-
it, does that
When I
not
say it,
make
yeah.
it the lore?
But we're the champions of lore, so like.
Therefore, I believe.
This is. I'm part of me's like this is like it. I guess yes in the books. Yes, still, but never mind. The Brimstone Angels.
Take
Although
them
we did
with
find
you.
out Freely
them.
and Frida can't go at the same time.
Yeah.
That is
Oh.
true.
That's fine though, because I love the idea of Freely being like, Heller, come on, let's go. And Heller being like, okay, let's hit.
Because we had
Go
a
get into some
moment, like
mischief.
we had an experience, like
Yes.
we stopped some cultists. It's fine. Yeah.
Whereas
I
Frida
would
be
not
like,
put
"Stop.
it past.
You cannot have a robot arm. That's not a good idea.
I would not put it past Codename Entertainment if they had made sure that those two could be in the same group because you guys played together. Because I know they pay that close of attention to detail. Hey, look at that guy.
Hey.
Hey,
There you go.
hey.
Yeah.
If you're live with us right now, be sure to come back at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Improvised Champions. And if you're listening to us later, we'd love for you to be here in the chat with us next week, so you can give us all your questions and comments and funny jokes. But if you are unable to, you can send in an email with your question or funny comment to championsoflore@codenameentertainment.com, and we'll bring them up if we get some of those emails.
I appreciate that you just said if you're alive with us right now, and I heard are you alive? I'm like,
God dang
are
it.
some of them not alive with
Well,
us?
Mark,
Like, are you okay?
Mark Muir might be in the chat, and he's your lich homie.
My lich homie.
Lich homie.
You could be a
It's
dead
true.
pixie on the hellhound in the chat.
You could be a
Or-
dead pixie on a hill.
Four Lauren cavalrymen on a camel in Arizona. Yeah, we got options. We got options. That's true.
Perfect.
I retract my statement.
I'm gonna get through this outro eventually, I swear. But thank you for everyone for watching and listening, and just being cool and hanging out. So until next time, champions out.